Hiccup are fighting, and this was their third sword fight, but never had there been such desperate circumstances as the bridge burning at both ends and the remains of what was once the woods that were howled. Alvin thrust and swore and lunged at the boy, and between every parry, Hiccup called out to the Windwalker, was he all right, and could he get free? Even burnt and tired, Hiccup's sword fighting had improved, and he was winning the fight, and Alvin was swiping increasingly desperate hooks at him when one of the ropes of the rope bridge burnt through, and the bridge plunged suddenly downwards, knocking Hiccup off balance. He fell through the ropes and with one flaming hand just caught the bridge, so he was hanging over the blazing inferno with one hand alone. That's Alvin looking down. Oh my goodness gracious me. Smiling a bitter smile of triumph, Alvin approached. I've got you now, Hiccup horrendous at the third. Triumphed Alvin the treacherous, and the old villain held his hook into the burning flaming ropes of the bridge until it was smoking hot. And then he raised his hook to bring it down Hiccup's hand. Alvin! Came a wild, weird, screechy shout from the smoke behind. And then again, Alvin! And the hook paused, allowing Hiccup to put the other hand up onto the bridge and then his elbow. If Hiccup could have seen it, that old villain, Alvin the treacherous, had turned as deathly white as if he had seen a ghost. And if Hiccup hadn't been so busy hauling himself up by the elbows and back onto the bridge, he would have seen also an extraordinary figure riding towards them through the smoke. It was Alvin's mother riding on the chicken poxer. Oh my goodness gracious me. So chapter 21 is called A Big Surprise for Alvin. If it hadn't been such a perilous moment, it might have been funny. It was such a bizarre sight. 20 years without light had sucked all the colour out of the witch, and she was white as bone all over. Her brilliant shock of chalk dry hair blew 5 feet long behind her. Her faded eyes were still half blind, but her other senses were so acute now that she could make her way around like a bat using radar. The chicken boxer was bucking madly, trying to get her off, but the witch was made of stern stuff, much sterner than fish legs, and she held firm and rode him at the figures on the bridge. Alvin had now turned a ghastly green. Who can blame him? He hadn't seen his mother in 20 years, and she was pretty scary. Mother, whispered Alvin the treacherous, querulous. Is it you, Mother? I love that picture, can you see? Is it you, Mother? He's looking a little bit dubious about seeing his mother there. Is it you, Mother? Help him up, you fool! Raged the old lady, wheeling around in the air above their heads on the chicken boxer. She didn't seem terribly pleased to see her son, considering they'd been parted for such a long time. What's happened to you? She scolded, and taking in the missing leg, eye, hair, nose and arm. Look at the state of you! I left you with very clear instructions on how to become the king of the Wild West, and you can't even hang on to your own limbs! Don't you see, you meddling idiot? You can't let that little rat fall into the fire. He's got the sword! From a splendid, dreadful villain on the brink of a great and evil triumph, Alvin turned in one split second into a small boy caught in the act of doing something stupid. No, I've got the sword, said Alvin, holding onto the storm blade rather pathetically, as if it would impress her. Idiot! Screamed Alvin's mother, bringing the chicken boxer to a screeching halt above their heads. It's the other sword! Help him up, and take the sword off him. Alvin stared back hard at Hiccup, hissing, I can't believe it, you set her free. This is the worst thing you've ever done to me. But it was too late. Hiccup had already hauled himself up onto his elbows, and Windwalker had worked his wing free, and Hiccup now scrambled up onto his back, and the Windwalker sprang into the air, and the bridge burnt out at both ends and fell into the abyss. Alvin screamed, and Alvin's mother leant down from the chicken boxer and grabbed him by the hook as the bridge fell from underneath him. But as the witch grabbed the hook, she let out a horrible shriek. But Alvin had held the hook in the flames of the bridge only a few minutes earlier, and that had turned the hook burning, scorching, frying hot. Aye! Screamed Alvin's mother. Aye! The touching reunion between mother and son lasted precisely 1 minute. There was a horrible sulphurous smell of burning flesh, and Albin's mother let go of the hook. Down Albin plunged into the inferno, and in one blink of an eye he was gone. The witch did not hesitate. She leapt from the chicken box's back and down into the fire herself. I don't know what she was hoping to do, but the flame swallowed her too in one greedy gulp. And I would have said, surely even Albin and his mother could not have escaped this time from an entire burning forest. But I won't say that, because I have been wrong before. There's the hook going down into the flame. Oh! So I'll have to see next chapter tomorrow.